Watch Dogs streaming bundle and cloud gaming, it's GNT. Welcome to GNT, your one-stop shop for gaming news and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon.
Hey, we're back this week. We missed last week, kind of a busy schedule, but we're back and we're going to start off with Ubisoft CEO. I was going to look up the pronunciation of his name, but I forgot. Vez Guillemot? I don't know. Has said the next Assassin's Creed will be back when it's ready, not necessarily 2017. There's been an Assassin's Creed game every year since 2007. I think the community has been kind of vocal about the games being subpar and not being happy with the game, so they're going to take their time with this one and try to make it more revolutionary like the first ones were, which I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan anymore, so I don't really care. But
yeah, I hope they just don't spoil what made Assassin's Creed fun. The fluid combat, the cinematic kills, which I thought they all basically brought. I pretty much played them all except for the one set during the Civil War period. I thought they all had decent graphics for the time. Gameplay was fluid. Did each one introduce anything that was really new or exciting? They each had their quirks or their little things. I think the Black Flag with the pirate ship was. I mean, I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed customizing my pirate ship. But I think that they need to move forward with the story instead of making more current events relevant,
right,
and maybe doing half and half, and having half in the past with the stealth combat, and then having half in the present or the present day where Desmond was in the story with some stealth combat. But overall, I thought they were a good game, but I mean, I don't really,
Right. And then Ubisoft and the microphone company Blue are teaming up to offer a Watch Dogs 2 streaming bundle. You'll get Watch Dogs 2 and the Blackout Blue Yeti microphone for $140, which is a pretty good deal. The Blue Yeti goes for about $113 on its own, so they're kind of taking a cut on that end. How will it do? I'm not sure. I don't know if I see this being a big seller. I guess if you're looking to stream, looking for a good microphone, this is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you're either going to get a deal on the microphone or a deal on the game, however you want to look at it.
Right, yeah.
If you're looking to start streaming, this game might not be your cup of tea, so it might not be necessarily the a good game to package with a with the microphone. We'll see. I mean, never hurts to try.
No.
Watch Dogs 1 was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly. I thought it was kind of clunky, the controls and stuff. I hope that they refined that a lot. So I don't know that I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, I probably won't either.
I mean, there's a lot of big games coming out.
Yeah.
This fall/winter. So, for Watch Dogs, even this bundle doesn't make it more lucrative. Doesn't make me want to say, well, maybe I should go out and get, Watch Dogs. I mean, you have some really heavy hitters coming out. With your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, you got Final Fantasy coming out. You've got Forza. You've got Gears of War 4. I mean, you've got some real good games that are coming out. Like I said, this season. So it's going to be hard pressed for them to find their niche, because it seems like the last few Ubisoft titles have had good reception at first, but have fallen off quickly, which, is going to hurt them as a company because, for me, I really like The Division. Played it a lot, but it's fallen off, and they've really kind of butchered it. And it's kind of stuff like that says, well, do I want to get Watch Dogs for fear of the same thing? Now, I know that they're not the same type of game, but, is it going to be fun at first and then made into something that's not fun, or, you just don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with, there are some companies that if they're making a game, like Bethesda for me, if Bethesda's making a game, I'll look at it, closely because they've made a lot of really good games, whereas Ubisoft, I don't think they're quite as held quite as high as.
Well, their track record isn't as solid.
Right.
You look at Bethesda, and the quality of games that comes out of there is always to a certain standard, and they don't change that much, or they don't ruin it with, If anything, they fix the problems, they address them quickly, and you're not left with the lag that you are in kind of some of these Ubisoft games.
Right.
It's just one of those things where you can count on certain game studios to provide a certain caliber of game time in and time out. So we'll see how that works out for them.
And this is kind of targeting a pretty narrow audience. I mean, how many people are there? I don't think there are a ton of people that are like, I really want a microphone to get into streaming. I mean, if there are those people, then they might go for this, but like I said, I don't see this being a huge seller.
Yeah, I think their market's going to be very limited on this one.
Okay, then next up, Firewatch. There's a movie announced for Firewatch, which I never played Firewatch. I might have to get around to playing it, but I didn't think it was known for having a good story, so I think this could be an opportunity for a movie that we might see successful. Generally, I think games aren't known for, they're great movies, but if there's a good story at the heart of this game, then I might go see it.
Yeah, usually video game movies fail pretty consistently, with the exception of the Resident Evil movies, which they're
Right.
They're based on the game, but they've definitely taken their own direction, and they do pay homage to the game in different aspects. But they've made a pretty good go of it. But not too many other game series translate well into movies. I know Final Fantasy just came out with Final Fantasy Kingsglaive, the movie. And it's a prequel to Final Fantasy 15. I watched it. I liked it. I saw some reviews on it where they criticized acting and different things. But overall, for me, it got me really pumped for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited for the game. Watching that movie really just drove it home for me. I'm really looking forward to that game.
Okay. Then next week we have another GTA Online expansion coming. It's a bikers expansion. Obviously feature more bikes. Also feature melee combat while biking. So it should add a kind of a fun aspect. I never really got into the bikes in that game, but drive around and fight other people with melee weapons should be pretty fun.
Yeah, once again, here we go to GTA Online,
Yeah.
being the game that continues to provide updates that are, they could charge $5 to $10 for an update like this,
Yeah.
and the community will get it for free, and they've gotten, all these updates for free from GTA Online. Just, Rockstar knows how to treat its fans.
Oh yeah. They're probably the best in it.
Yeah, I mean, the game's 3 years old, still solid, still graphically impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are still getting content for it. I mean, if you bought GTA at the time it came out, you couldn't have spent better money than on this, because
No.
3 years later, still new content.
Yeah.
You don't get that from a MMO. You don't get that from sports games, from first-person shooters, they're all 1 year, sports over, see you later.
Yeah.
And you invest more than $60 into them. Whereas this, you've spent the $60, you've got the game, you've gotten continued support throughout. I mean, this is a game where if you bought this game, you essentially, wouldn't necessarily need to buy any other games for 3 years because they've continued to support it on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then kind of a cool topic, just on the future of gaming. A company called Liquid Sky. They've kind of been under the radar, working on cloud gaming the past few years, I think. They recently just got $4 million in funding for their cloud gaming. I think Samsung, one of their branches, was one of the donors. There were a couple others. I forgot to write them down. But basically, it's a pay-as-you-go model. You can either buy Sky credits and then use those credits to buy hours of gaming for games, or you can get a subscription. There would be a $15 a month where you get 500 gigs of storage and 80 hours of gaming. Pretty much any games that you can download, use your storage, and then use your hours to play them. Or $40 a month, and you get 1 terabyte and then unlimited playtime. Games would be run in the cloud and streamed to your console or computer, so you don't really need as good of hardware. I think the biggest thing would be your internet and your bandwidth, for streaming the game. That it would probably be a big factor, but kind of an interesting direction in gaming that we could see in the future.
Yeah, I think they're going along the same lines as like GameFly, whereas you pay for a rental fee as opposed to buy the actual games, which I'm sure game developers aren't too keen on because that's how they make their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But Liquid Sky has their work cut out for them to get, like you said, to make sure people have the right internet. Connection speeds would be very, very... I mean, you almost wouldn't be able to play... I don't think at this point you'd be able to play a multiplayer game like your Call of Duty or your Battlefields, streaming it because of the lag.
Right.
Because if you're playing it against somebody that owns the game and it's running the game from their house, and the lag between you making a shot and them making a shot is going to be, life or death in the game. So I think that, they're going to have a lot of hurdles in front of them. I do like the thought of that because there are a lot of computer games that I'd like to play, but the price of keeping a computer up to the current standards, to get those good graphics and whatnot, is a little more than I'd like to invest,
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they proceed with this and how they handle, aspects like multiplayer, people having the different kinds of internet, because people that have the satellite internet have good download speeds but have horrible upload speeds. So, that's one of those deals where they're going to have to make sure that everybody's on the same playing field.
Yeah.
In order to make it a fun and practical thing for people to want to do.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think they've, like you said, hurdles to get over first. And I'm not sure if we'll see it mainstream anytime too soon, but just kind of something to keep an eye on and think about. So leave a comment below. What do you think about the future of cloud gaming? Would you be interested in something like that? And subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.